The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, June 26th, have Billy and Sally conspiring against Cain, Audra pushing Kyle's buttons, and Holden coming to Claire's rescue. Billy had his hopes high that an alliance with Aristotle Dumas would help him become even more of a power player. On Thursday's show, watch for the Abbott heir and Sally to conspire against Dumas, whom they now know as Cain. Billy may rethink his game plan now that he knows Dumas is, in reality, the man he once thought was his uncle. Audra Charles knows that if she wants Victor to continue to financially sponsor Vibrante, she's going to have to get Kyle into a compromising position. Kyle made a deal with Victor where if he's unfaithful to Claire, then Kyle will pay Victor an impressive $5 million and leave town. On Thursday's show, watch for Audra to up her game to push Kyle's buttons. If she manages to press the right one, she could establish herself as a true power player in the cosmetics world. Audra likely will succeed as she's quite adept at getting under Kyle's skin. However, it's always possible she'll have a pang of conscience and leave Kyle and Claire in peace. But she's risking her business future if she does the right thing. Back in Genoa City, Claire will find herself in a situation that Kyle can't get her out of, but Holden can. On Thursday's show, watch for Holden to come to Claire's rescue. Holden's been feeling down lately. He's lost his job with Damien and Dumas. The executive has also struck out time and time again with ex-flame Audra. Claire needing Holden's help will also benefit Holden, who doesn't want to feel needed and appreciated. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Thursday, June 26th, reveal that Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra will have a strategy session. Although Sally initially wanted to go home and expose Cain Ashby as Aristotle Dumas through a media story, Billy insisted on sticking around and scoring more intel. Billy obviously doesn't trust Cain, so he suspects there's far more going on than meets the eye. Although Cain claims he's ready to ditch his Dumas persona and make a name for himself in Genoa City again, Billy has a feeling his plans are bigger than that. Since Sally isn't going to change Billy's mind about going after Cain, she might as well join him. Y&R spoilers say Sally and Billy will indeed do some scheming on Thursday's episode, so stay tuned for updates on their next Cain-related plot. Meanwhile, Audra Charles will kick all her Kyle Abbott flirting up a notch. We'll see Audra find new ways to capture Kyle's interest, like when she pushes him to slather her up with sunscreen during an outdoor moment together. Since Kyle presumably still won't have cell service, he'll miss Claire Newman's repeated attempts to reach him. Claire will apparently have some difficult news to report when it comes to Cole Howard and whatever info his doctor may have offered. Regardless, Claire will be down in the dumps, especially without Kyle there to support her. Fortunately, Claire won't have to drink alone since Holden Novak will pop up at exactly the right time. Holden will become Claire's hero for the evening since he'll save her from a night of lonely sadness. Claire will be glad to see a familiar face and will strengthen her bond with Holden as they commiserate over their problems. Will the mixture of alcohol and difficult emotions spell trouble for these two? Even if Holden tries to cross the line with Claire, she seems pretty devoted to Kyle at this point. Kyle, on the other hand, could let himself get in over his head with Audra if he's not careful. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Damien Cain may land in hot water after admiring Cain Ashby's knife collection on the train. That simple decision could land Damien in a world of trouble once someone presumably gets stabbed. In the June 25th episode, Damien indeed handled a knife and showed it to Lily Winters before all their card games. It was such a weird and seemingly significant moment, so Y&R clearly put that scene in there for a reason. Damien will most likely regret touching that knife when it ends up in someone's back. There's a very good chance Damien just touched the murder weapon, so his fingerprints are going to be all over it once a fatal victim turns up. A whodunit is indeed on the way, which means multiple characters will fall under suspicion over the course of this storyline. However, it may not take Damien long to become the top suspect since he touched the knife. The actual killer may wear gloves, leaving Damien's prints to become the focus of the investigation at first. Naturally, Lily Winters may rush to Damien's defense since she saw him innocently handling the knife and casually showing it to her. Even so, that probably won't be enough to clear Damien's name. It could be argued that since Damien knew where to find the knife later, that still makes him the prime suspect. Before Damien went on this trip, Amy Lewis shared a spine-chilling embrace with her son and pondered the meaning of it. Maybe Amy was sensing the false accusations that would eventually be thrown at Damien. It's possible Damien could actually be the culprit, but it seems silly to show him with the knife in advance if that's the case. The goal here appears to be making Damien look guilty so that he can ultimately be exonerated, paving the way for someone else to be revealed as the killer instead. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. On The Young and the Restless, we're learning more about Cain and where he's been for 6 years. Well, we're scratching the surface. More like it. But in flashbacks, Lily is remembering how she and Cain had a fight at an outdoor restaurant, and he lost his temper. But what's strange is how the conversation went down. Cain tried to explain that his dad was dying, and he wanted Colin to see Maddie and Charlie. Lily freaked out that Cain wanted to bring their kids around his bad influence father, and forbade him from doing it. Cain got especially mad when Lily added that she was going to prevent him from seeing his kids, and Lily snapped that him losing his temper wasn't going to help make her change his mind. Huh? Maddie and Charlie are adults, as Cain even pointed out to her. So what was Lily saying? That she would do or say something to make them turn on their dad? All because he wants them to meet their grandfather before he dies? Okay, yeah, Colin's a lot of things, but again, they are all adults. Sorry, Lily, but one would think that that conversation in particular would have been a reminder not to go back, rather than to motivate him to one day construct another identity, immeasurable wealth, and want to give it all up to win back the woman who would threaten to take his kids away rather than via conversation. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of June 30th, July 4 reveal that things are about to take an unsettling turn in Nice. Cain Ashby's prediction may come true about someone trying to kill him, but that doesn't mean they'll take out the intended victim. Another character could land in the killer's path, like Chance Chancellor now that he's on high alert and looking into the situation. If Chance uncovers who's plotting Cain's demise, he could be silenced permanently. Then again, it could be someone else who faces a grisly outcome instead. Whatever the case, some corpse panic should erupt and leave everybody scrambling in the coming episodes. If one of Cain's guests ends up a goner as expected, he's sure to make a vengeful vow. Cain may promise the person responsible will pay, and could feel guilty for luring others into danger through his party. As for Damien Cain, Amy Lewis felt a chill down her spine before he left GC. But what did it mean? Damien might land in peril himself, but that could also be about some false accusations. Since Damien found Cain's knife collection on the train and had his hands all over one of them, he might have just touched the murder weapon. Damien could end up wrongfully accused after handling that knife once it shows up bloody later. Will Lily Winters have to rush to Damien's defense? Regardless, Y&R will offer up plenty of whodunit questions. Phyllis Summers could use the situation to her advantage if she decides solving the crime would be a good way to lock in a partnership with Cain. However, Phyllis may have to lean on Nick Newman for some support first. The same goes for Sharon Newman, since it looks like both women will be pretty shaken up over the circumstances of the body discovery. All the fear and chaos could pull Audra Charles closer to Kyle Abbott too. Everyone's emotions will be all over the place due to the murder mystery mayhem, so even Audra herself may be surprised by how far she goes with Kyle. Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra will also find themselves tangled up in all the criminal turmoil, so we'll see if they can uncover any secrets along the way. Finally, Adam Newman will plan to give Victor updates on some important news regarding Aristotle Dumas' real estate moves, but his journey will come with some curveballs. In a gripping turn of events that has left Genoa City reeling, The Young and the Restless delivered one of its most emotionally charged storylines to date. Set against the scenic backdrop of the French Riviera, what began as a high-profile summit between the Newman and Dumas families spiraled into tragedy when Chance Chancellor, acting as both protector and investigator, was fatally shot in the line of duty. The Mediterranean sunrise had barely touched the cliffs of Nice when Chance Chancellor stood alone, gazing from the upper balcony of a luxurious chateau. He had not come as a tourist, nor merely as a guest. He was there to protect Cain, revealed as Aristotle Dumas, a man hunted by unseen forces. Cain, haunted by secrets of his past, confided in Chance that someone wanted him dead. With his instincts honed from years of federal service, Chance sensed danger was already inside the estate's gates. Missing surveillance footage, falsified staff records, and digital traces of high-level tampering all pointed to a sophisticated operation, one beyond mere criminal enterprise. As suspicion grew, so did the stakes. Guests became divided, whispers of surveillance and past traumas resurfaced, and the name Martin Laurent once again chilled the halls. Phyllis and Sharon warned that this was more than just a threat to Cain. It was about control, manipulation, and rewriting the narrative. Chance remained undeterred. He arranged a private meeting with Cain in a secluded study to uncover the truth. But someone else got there first. A gunshot pierced the quiet. Chance lunged to shield Cain and took a bullet to the chest. Despite frantic efforts from Nick, Sharon, Phyllis, and Victor, Chance's injuries proved fatal. His final words, "Tell the truth, don't let them bury it," have since echoed throughout Genoa City. As word of his death spread, grief consumed the chateau. Cain was taken into custody, visibly shaken and guilt-ridden. Victor Newman vowed justice, declaring he would not wait for the French authorities. Meanwhile, Abby Newman, Chance's wife, stood in silent devastation, later facing Cain with raw anger and pain. "You don't get to mourn him. I will never forgive you for that." Back home, Chance was honored with a full police funeral. Sharon delivered the eulogy. Phyllis read a letter he had written long ago. Abby, though silent during the ceremony, whispered to their son that his father was a hero. He died doing the right thing. The investigation is far from over. Surveillance footage, financial trails, and digital traces suggest the assassin was linked to Cain's past in the Dumas operation. Victor has mobilized his resources, and Genoa City is bracing for the ripple effects. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers faced her own reckoning. In an ambitious attempt to position herself alongside Cain, she miscalculated gravely. Cain's dismissive takedown of her proposal revealed not only his detachment from Genoa City's politics, but also his unwavering control over the unfolding power play. Her humiliation was complete, but her resolve only hardened. Chance Chancellor's death wasn't just another soap opera twist. It was a seismic shift. He didn't fall in uniform, but in the quiet, determined pursuit of justice. His loss leaves a void not only in his family, but also in the moral center of a community struggling to navigate old secrets and new enemies. For now, the halls of the French chateau stand quiet, the marble still stained with sacrifice. But back in Genoa City, the battle has only begun, and those left behind carry a simple promise: to find the truth, no matter what it costs. Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers traveled to the Mediterranean for what was billed as an exclusive business summit, an opportunity to rebuild reputations and expand influence far from the turmoil of Genoa City. But beneath the glittering surface of castles and champagne toasts, they found themselves pulled back into a nightmarish chapter neither had truly left behind. Their destination, a centuries-old castle nestled in the hills of Nice, was more than a backdrop. It was a stage meticulously set by a familiar and dangerous figure, Cain, now operating under the enigmatic persona of Aristotle Dumas. His return wasn't about mergers or investments, it was about control. From opportunity to orchestration, the trap unfolds. Phyllis saw Cain's reappearance as a golden opportunity until she recognized him behind the mask of Dumas. Driven by ambition and the desire to reclaim her place in the corporate world, she approached him with confidence, proposing a powerful alliance. But beneath the surface charm, Cain was manipulating more than just business. Unbeknownst to Sharon and Phyllis, the castle Cain had selected for this summit wasn't random. It was the same estate where years earlier they had both been held captive by Martin Laurent, subjected to psychological torment inside a maze designed to break their spirits. The setting alone stirred painful memories, but Cain had engineered more than nostalgia. He had recreated the conditions of that captivity, turning every ornate corridor into a silent trap. Phyllis, attempting to face her fears, entered the maze again, only to collapse under the weight of her trauma. Watching from above, Sharon didn't hesitate. She entered the labyrinth, not as a professional, but as a friend and fellow survivor. That moment of quiet solidarity became a turning point. However, Cain had already succeeded in what he set out to do: remind them of their deepest vulnerabilities. Unraveling the game: surveillance, secrets, and silent warfare. As the gala unfolded upstairs, oblivious to the personal battles playing out below, Sharon and Phyllis began to sense something more sinister. Staff behavior felt too polished, doors closed too quietly, and the feeling of being watched intensified. Their suspicions were confirmed when they discovered hidden surveillance cameras throughout the chateau, some marked with symbols eerily reminiscent of their past captivity. Worse still, a hidden room revealed that Cain's surveillance extended far beyond the castle. He had been watching them for weeks, monitoring Sharon at Crimson Lights, documenting Phyllis's movements at the Grand Phoenix. Detailed psychological profiles and therapy transcripts filled a folder, exposing how deeply he had infiltrated their lives. Nick Newman, ever intuitive, found Phyllis unraveling in a hallway and offered her quiet support. But when the lights suddenly went out and a distorted voice echoed through the walls, "You were never meant to escape your past, only to understand it," the psychological experiment reached its peak, turning the tables, resistance in the dark. Trapped in the castle, Sharon, Phyllis, and Nick realized Cain had built a psychological prison, not unlike the one Martin had once used. But this time, the women were different. They weren't victims. They were prepared. With grit and resolve, they hacked into the surveillance system and broadcast Cain's twisted game to the outside world. The footage streamed to news outlets and corporate investors, exposing Dumas as a predator, not a visionary. Cain vanished before authorities could apprehend him, but his empire, carefully crafted on manipulation and deceit, crumbled under public scrutiny. The rise after the fall. Phyllis and Sharon didn't leave Nice defeated. They emerged stronger, bonded not just by shared trauma, but by a shared victory. The castle that once symbolized their pain now marked their turning point. They had faced the darkest corners of their past and turned fear into action. Their vow was not for revenge, but for justice and self-redemption. They didn't just escape Cain's game. They rewrote the rules entirely. The Young and the Restless, recap for Wednesday, June 25th, reveals that Lily Winters will be unable to sleep, so she'll find Damien Cain elsewhere on the train and realize he couldn't sleep either. Since Lily will want a distraction from all the Cain-Ashby drama, Damien will go looking for some playing cards he saw earlier. That'll lead to Damien discovering Cain's knife collection, so he'll pick one up and admire it. After Lily crushes Damien at poker, they'll change to Go Fish and give him a chance to start winning. Lily will be grateful for Damien's support and will plan to leave Nice in the morning so she doesn't give Cain any false reunion hope. Next on Wednesday's Y&R episode, Cain will meet with Amanda Sinclair and admit he still has a few cards up his sleeve when it comes to his goals. Amanda will warn against underestimating Victor Newman, so Cain will insist that he won't. That said, Cain will point out that Victor underestimated him as Aristotle Dumas, and is underestimating him now as Cain Ashby. Phyllis Summers will pop up and assure Cain that she'd never underestimate him, especially since she's made a career out of people underestimating her instead. Although Cain will try to delay this meeting until morning, Phyllis will insist on making a brief pitch. That'll lead to Phyllis offering to help Cain navigate the landmines of his reintegration into Genoa City. Phyllis will also think she can help Cain go after Chancellor, and will start talking about all these grand plans of making Amanda an executive. Cain will take a jab about Amanda not being happy in her current role, but Amanda will do her best to smooth everything over. In the end, Cain will admit he likes Phyllis's ambition and fearlessness, so maybe there's a place for her in his organization. However, Cain will want to sleep on it and will comment on the storm that's rolling in, one that he hopes will keep Lily around longer. After Cain struts off, Amanda will blast Phyllis for putting her job in jeopardy and will wonder if she ever thinks about anybody but herself. At Newman Media, Chelsea Lawson will find Adam Newman working late and will see that he's distracted over Victor being unreachable. Adam will eventually go to dinner with Chelsea at Society, where he'll admit someone is buying up real estate in downtown Genoa City. They're going after any and all available commercial properties within walking distance of Newman, Jabot, and Chancellor. This same real estate holding company is also buying up several condo properties, so Adam will admit to investigating and realizing this all traces back to Arabesque. Adam will have concerns about Dumas luring all these GC key players to the other side of the world, while he's busy buying up huge chunks of real estate near their companies back home. Unfortunately, Adam still won't be able to reach Victor to get his opinion on all this. Chelsea will brainstorm with Adam instead, so they'll realize Dumas is making a major move and suspect it's bigger than just Chancellor. Whatever Dumas's endgame is, Adam will think it's clear that he's bringing it to Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Adam will seek updates on more Dumas-related news soon, so stay tuned to see what he'll find out. Young and the Restless spoilers for June 30th, July 4th, 2025. See Phyllis Summers is going to score big, and Kyle Abbott may stray. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we start with what is coming the rest of this week to get you all set up for next week. So with that in mind, well, Wednesday, June 25th, we have got Chelsea Lawson Newman finding Adam Newman stressing out at the Newman offices because Daddy Victor Newman is not answering his calls and he hasn't replied to the messages that he has left. So, Adam is initially worried that Victor could be angry and ignoring him over the Billy Abbott stuff. But then Adam decides there may be more to it because he also tried to reach Nikki Newman, Nick Newman, and Sharon Newman. Got no answers, no responses from anybody, which is strange. It seems like at least one person would reply. So, Adam tells Chelsea that Dumas, aka Cain Ashby, which they don't seem to know that part of it yet, is making big power moves. He's buying up a bunch of commercial real estate properties and businesses surrounding both Newman and Abbott properties. It sounds like he is circling them both like a shark. Meanwhile, over in France, Cain tells Amanda Sinclair that Victor turned him down on the Chancellor offer, but he honestly expected that outcome, and he's got other plans in motion. Amanda is in full support of Cain's efforts, and Phyllis interrupts to say she won't underestimate him, and she begs for time with Cain and gets a whopping whole entire 10 minutes to pitch to him. So, Phyllis talks to Cain about her running Chancellor once he takes it over with Amanda at her side, and Phyllis is stroking Cain's ego and flattering him, and Phyllis also offers to show him around town once they're back home, because things have changed a lot. That way, he can get the lay of the land from an insider. Meanwhile, Amanda is really irritated that Phyllis dragged her name into it because Cain was kind of surprised and asked her, "Whoa, you want a different job?" And Amanda's like, "No." She's annoyed and tells Cain that Phyllis is desperate. And of course, Red denies it. And Cain rejects the idea of Phyllis at Chancellor. He has a whole different concept in mind, but he does promise to think about her proposal overnight. After he leaves, Amanda rants at Phyllis, calling her selfish for running her mouth like that, and having Amanda's name in her mouth at all while talking to her boss, which is very typical Phyllis, though. Meanwhile, in the train car, Lily Winters cannot sleep. She keeps recalling some past harsh talks with Cain about his dad, Colin, and their kids. She didn't want the kids near them, and Cain's attitude was they're adults. They can decide. So Lily gets up out of bed because she just can't sleep, and finds Damien Cain is also up. So Lily plays poker and cleans him out, and then they play Go Fish. and he does a little better at that. They're just passing the time because neither can sleep. And Damien tells her he can tell Cain wants her back. But Lily says she is not interested. And Lily also says that they plan to leave tomorrow. You know, Devin Hamilton, Abby Newman, all of them. And Lily makes it clear she doesn't want to stick around and let Cain think that he's got any chance with her. So, Lily just thinks he has turned out just like his awful dad, Colin Atkinson. And then, guess what? Damien's ready to go home too. He's tired of the games. You know, he never knew that Dumas was her ex-husband, and so he's just frustrated over it. Ready to go back, probably ready to see his mom, Amy Lewis. On Thursday, June 26th, we have Kyle getting all riled up by Audra Charles. She's getting under his skin. She's in a cute little bikini, getting all flirty, and she wants Kyle to rub her down with her Jabot birthday suit sunscreen. Sounds like she's offering to show him her birthday suit. I do wonder if Lily and Devin are going to observe any of this and report back to Nate Hastings once they're back to town. So, Kyle does seem tempted by Audra. There's no cell service. He can't talk to his girlfriend. There's lots of booze. Yeah. Plus, Sally Spectra and Billy hatch a scheme against Cain, and I wonder if Billy is going to again go after Chancellor to keep it out of both Victor and Cain's hands. He is not a fan of the guy who pretended to be his brother. Meanwhile, back in town, Claire Grace Newman gets a rescue by Holden Novak, and they're having a weird sort of vibe this week. So Claire and Holden are drinking at the G-Safety bar. They're doing their usual drink of Vespers, and Claire's talking about how it's fortunate that she ran into Holden, and he feels like he's lucky for running into her. So I don't know if the rescue comes before this semi-flirty conversation or after they are boozing. Claire kind of looks upset. Maybe there's some news about her dad, Cole. On Friday, June 27th, Nick demands answers from Cain. And remember, he said he was going to go around and have conversations with everybody. So, this may be during their one-on-one. And of course, Nick is worried that his mom, Nikki, could lose Chancellor and is going to be collateral damage in whatever war games that Cain is cooking up. Sharon and Phyllis get an awful reminder of their recent traumatic experience. So, could be something that reminds them of when they were held captive by awful Martin Laurent. And it could be that the weather is taking a big turn. I seem to remember something about a storm when they were held captive. Lily makes a bold move with Damien on Young and the Restless. So, we may get some Lily and Damien romance with them soon. Lily is fuming at Cain. She doesn't want to be around him. So, Damien may be who she turns to for comfort, especially when things take a turn in France the following week. So, the week of June 30th through July 4th, we've got Chancellor looking into Cain's claims that his life is at risk. And someone is really in danger at the party, because a murder mystery takes over. And it could be when dark skies set in, because a big storm takes over the area that they're in France, making things creepier, more uncomfortable. It shuts down transportation in and out. And this may be when the killer strikes. And of course, Adam shows up in the midst of all this. So, Chance could actually be the murder victim because Connor Floyd recently left Y&R to take over Billy Flynn's old job playing Chad DiMera on Days of Our Lives. So, maybe Chance plays hero and he gets hurt. We'll see. Damien and Lily may be heating up as lightning tears across the sky. Trapped, no way to leave. Plus, she's mad at Cain. So, this could be Damien's big chance to get a real romance with Lily. Sharon, of course, is still crushing on Nick. And it could be the storm that freaks out her and Phyllis and gives them a bit of PTSD. So, Nick may be comforting Sharon. And things take a turn because showrunner Josh Griffith promised a shift for Nick and Sharon in France. Plus, Claire is still hanging out with Holden while Kyle is out of touch in France with Audra. And I'm just wondering if Claire gets tipsy and maybe does something she shouldn't. Cain kicks off his drastic contingency plan to get Chancellor at all costs. And this, of course, ties into what Adam dug up. So meanwhile, Chelsea understands why Adam decides he has to go to France to get to his family at all cost. He thinks Cain's dodgy real estate strategy in GC is something Victor needs to know about ASAP. I wonder if Adam may also warn Jack Abbott and Billy. Phyllis may brag about being part of Cain's plan so that she can irritate Sally and Billy. And Kyle gets way too close to Audra. Also, July 4th is a coin toss. So, last year, 2024, it was a new episode, 2023, and most years prior, it was a rerun. If an encore episode does air, be sure and delete it from your DVR, or the Monday, July 7th episode may not tape. Also, there is a chance of news preemptions because of ongoing strife in the Middle East. It has interrupted Bold and the Beautiful and cut the episode short. So, Y&R may have a preemption. Watch for that. Be sure and delete anything off your DVR that's not a real episode, so it doesn't mess up your programming. Stafford suffered a beauty blooper on the set of the soap, which led to an incredible hair transformation. Sometimes, filming a soap doesn't go as planned. Anything can happen. Michelle Stafford revealed a glamour emergency she had while on the set of The Young and the Restless. Her glam team made it work, and the results are breathtaking. Stafford is among an incredible cast and crew who put effort into everything they do. She creates magic whenever she plays her on-screen portrayer, Phyllis Newman. However, Stafford suffered a beauty blooper that could have nearly ruined a scene. She chopped off her hair while filming an ongoing scene. That's when hairstylist Lauren Mendoza came to Stafford's rescue. I must give credit today to 827 Low for her magic. Me cutting 5 inches off my hair in the middle of a set of continuous scenes? Oops, my mistake. She fixed it. Honorable mention to the loveliest at Mandolin for the fab dress. Stafford shared in her Instagram caption. The soap star shared a stunning shot of herself wearing a dark brown dress. In the photo, Stafford showed off her signature red waves, which she rocks on the show. She had to use extensions to cover up the mistake. However, most fans are looking forward to seeing her new look at some point. One fan commented, "Can't wait to see your new do." Other fans were in awe of Stafford's natural beauty, leaving plenty of heart-eyed emojis and kind comments. "Stunning," one fan simply wrote. Meanwhile, another fan noted that Stafford looks beautiful no matter what her hair looks like. "Stunning, always!" And shout out to Duran Duran. "Love that song. Just saw them in December. In Vegas. They are still badass," the user wrote. The beauty entrepreneur knows how to transform a look, no matter where she goes. But this time, Stafford had the help of her glam team to transform her hair snafu. Most fans love her spontaneous new look for the summer. Tamra Clatterbuck added a series of fire emojis with the phrase, "Girl!" Personal stylist Jocelyn S. Stewart assured Stafford that she looked hot AF. She also made sure to use the fire emoji to evoke her comment. Another fan wrote, "Stunning as always. Whole look is fire." What are your thoughts on Stafford's new look? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Cain and Victor could find themselves in a long-running fight. Victor was not surprised that Cain Ashby was Aristotle Dumas on The Young and the Restless. Cain thought he could go up against the ultimate boss. These two men might find themselves in an ongoing battle. They're both ruthless businessmen who try to be 10 steps above other people. But who will win this fight? Cain finally revealed himself as Aristotle Dumas. Although he loved playing this identity, he couldn't hide himself anymore. Meanwhile, Victor has already put he clues together. He was less than impressed when Cain revealed himself, but he still wanted to talk to Cain and wonder why he did what he did. Sure, Cain didn't pull the wool over Victor's eyes. Can anyone? Really? But he could find a way to become Victor's nightmare. It's possible that Cain allowed Victor to think he figured him out already. Cain could use this to his advantage to take down Victor when he's not looking. So many men in Genoa City have tried to beat Victor and have failed. Some who have lost this fight include Jack, Billy, and Kyle. But Victor is untouchable. Cain could be the one person who could do it this time around. He could also be setting up a new game already. Cain believes that someone wants him dead. That's why he planned this party. It's about to become a murder mystery. Cain invited Chance to figure out who it is. Once again, he could be tricking everyone. This could be another one of his distractions. Cain could claim that he's fearful of his life while secretly sticking it to Victor. He was already able to build up a successful business without using his real name. Who knows what else Cain can do? Maybe he could put a target on Victor and steal Newman from underneath him. What are your thoughts? Do you think Cain could beat Victor? Or do you think no one could touch the untouchable Newman? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. On The Young and the Restless, two communications companies are about to have the headline of the year. But one finds out more information first, and will go to the ends of the earth to share the news. At Aristotle, Dumas' estate, guests have been arriving one train car at a time. First came Victor and Nikki Newman, along with Nick and Sharon Case. Next to arrive were the Abbotts, Jack and Diane and their son Kyle, along with Audra. Then the Winters clan with Devin Hamilton, Lily, and Damien. Phyllis rode the train alone, and at some point, Amanda appeared after Aristotle, now revealed as Cain Ashby, told his assistant Carter that he was ready to meet his guests and that he needed Amanda with him for it. But as many questions as the current guests have, they are about to have more. Not only more questions, but more guests join them. Lauren Fenmore and Michael Baldwin join the fray, and with them come Abby and Chance. While Abby was expected, she seems to have a chance encounter, leading others to wonder how and why he is there. Is it because he's a chancellor? Does this have to do with Jill or getting the company back into the Chancellor family hands? When Catherine died, she wanted Cain to be the CEO of her legacy company. But Victor had control and didn't honor that request. He made it so not worth the effort that Cain gave up and quit. Now, it seems, he wants it back. But what can Chance do to help make that happen? And why? Does Jill regret selling the company and hurting Billy along the way? Can Chance threaten to press charges for something if Victor doesn't sell the company back? Meanwhile, Billy is about to launch a communications company. He thought he was going to work with Aristotle as an investor and possibly get control of Chancellor back. But now that he knows Aristotle is Cain, his trust has gone out the window. Will he want to broadcast the reveal instead? That kind of headline would be good for his business. No one at the moment seems to be able to use their phones or communicate with anyone back in Genoa City. But somehow, Adam finds dirt on Aristotle, and it's juicy enough that he manages to track down his dad at the reclusive estate. When Adam bursts onto the private train car of the Newmans, he breathlessly warns them that he found out something very important. "And you're not going to like it, Pop. You're not going to like it one bit," he tells Victor. O'Brien pushed past the stigma. On the latest episode of General Hospital star Maurice Benard's podcast, Young and the Restless Lily Brooks O'Brien went in depth about her endometriosis diagnosis and doctors' initial response. Opposite Benard during the latest episode of State of Mind, O'Brien opened up about her battle with endometriosis, which she revealed affects 1 in 10 women, which is an insanely high number when you think about it, but not enough people know about it. The young actress delved into her experience getting diagnosed, which she said began at 16 years old when she developed debilitating pain during menstrual cycles that wound up affecting her work. Some women compare it. Women who have had birth, who have gone into labor, she revealed. I could be at an audition, or I could be at school, or hanging out with friends, and then, all of a sudden, I would be in the worst pain of my life. Despite several doctor's visits, O'Brien's experience was like many others at first. My gynecologist told me this was normal. Put me on birth control. That didn't help, she said. I felt like no one was listening to me. I felt like I was going crazy, she continued, noting that her first endo specialist told her the pain was a mental thing. O'Brien went on to talk about her official diagnosis, thanks to Bindi Irwin's surgeon, and her surgery that followed, which led to the actress spreading awareness for the disease. There's such a stigma around talking about your periods and talking about period cramps or whatever, but it's so important for women to know that if you're in that level of pain, you'll know that it's not normal. O'Brien isn't the only soap star to reveal an endometriosis diagnosis. GH's Kirsten Storms and Kate Mansi have both been open about their struggle with the disease over the years. On the fictional side, GH's Molly was given an endometriosis diagnosis in 2023 when the character was struggling to get pregnant. Billy Flynn gave his seal of approval for Connor Floyd taking over his former role of Chad on Days. It's actor swapping on Days of Our Lives and The Young and the Restless. Just days after Billy Flynn made his Y&R debut, news broke that Connor Floyd will be joining the Peacock soap. With Floyd taking over his former role, Flynn shared his reaction to the news. Floyd was cast as the new Chad DiMera on Days and sent shockwaves across the soap community. The actor, who plays Chance on Y&R, has already started filming on the Peacock soap opera. Floyd's new gig comes just as former Days actor Flynn made his long-awaited debut as the new Cain Ashby on Y&R. Before joining the CBS soap opera, Flynn played Chad on Days. The actor took over the role from Casey Diedrich in 2014 and quickly became a fan favorite. After 10 years, Flynn decided it was time to leave and explore other options. Shortly after announcing his departure in March, Flynn joined the Y&R cast. With the news that his Days role is being recast with his Y&R co-star, Flynn is speaking out. On his Instagram story, the actor posted a screenshot of the Deadline article announcing Floyd's Days role. "Congrats, Connor Floyd. Chad is in great hands. You're gonna crush it, man," Flynn captioned the post. Because of Days' taping schedule, Flynn's episodes as Chad will continue to air until early 2026. Fans can expect Floyd's debut as Chad to happen in April 2026. As for Floyd's Y&R character, Chance's fate is unknown. The actor has been playing the Genoa City cop since 2021, but has been on a recurring status in recent months. Currently, Chance is in France to help Cain, who senses he's in danger. Could this be setting up a possible exit for Chance?